Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well. In this video, we are going to learn how to build your first smart contract on Near protocol using assembly script. The easiest way I see for that to happen is by having a template or a startup project, and then you can learn the folder structure on this project and build on top of that. And this is the a sample startup project. You will find a link for this code, starter code, in the description of this video. Once you clone this repository and open it in Visual Studio Code or any code editor you prefer, this is what you will see. What we will learn today is how to read the contract, how to build it, and how to deploy it. As you see, the folder structure is like that. These are the basic files required for types handling and so on. So you don't need to worry about that so much. Your code starts from here, index.ts. TS is for TypeScript because assembly script is some sort of variation of TypeScript. So you will be actually writing very similar code to the TypeScript language with additional types management for the assembly script. And as you can see here, this is a say hello function, like the hello world, and we're going to learn how can we build that shortly. So basically we have two folders here, one for the code, the assembly script code, and one for the tests if you are going or you plan to have tests in your code, which is a good practice, by the way. Here we have, since this is a Git repository, we have the git ignore file. This is a configuration file required to Aspect, which is the testing framework that's used for TypeScript to build smart contracts. So here, the tests here are actually written using the Aspect testing framework. That's why we have Aspect configuration file here. And this is the assembly script configuration file. And as you can see here, it refers to the Near SDK configuration file. I'm assuming, of course, you already know what's Near, and you already have near-cli installed. If you do not know Near, or you don't have near-cli installed, please refer to the link in the description so that you can find the steps to do so. Okay. And here are the packages that we, some scripts and some dependencies we need to this project to run. It's all written for you. You don't have to understand everything in this folder structure. All you need to do is that you have to, all you need to do is to just have a general understanding of this folder structure, and you can go ahead and start your code in the index.ts file. All right, now what we have here is, as I was saying, a function called say hello. Let's change that. Let's say hello world. And this function returns, as you can see here, hello from the blockchain world. So assume that this is the basic function that our smart contract provide. If we do that and we write the functions in our smart contract, how can we like test it? How can we run it? How can we deploy it? There are a few things to learn here. First, if you are going to test locally, then I recommend that you use the tests from the Aspect framework. As you can see here, this is the index.unit.spec.ts, which is the file that tests this one. So one way to test your code locally is that you write the test cases for that here, which is a very nice feature, by the way. And since we changed the method name here, we should also change it there and there, and should change this one as well. Okay, so one way to test your code is that you run tests and run them. The other one is to deploy actually your contract on the Near test network and try to call it. All right, what is the first step after we write our basic code? Actually, before writing the code, you should have run the command that installs the dependencies of this project, which is basically yarn. Yarn is the package manager, and what this command will do is that it will install all the dependencies that your code here requires to run. After doing so, we can, or we should be able to build our contract, and we should also be able to deploy and test our contract. Okay, it's done. It took about like a minute or so. Now I guess we can run the tests. So I can write run yarn test. This should run the tests here and test our code locally without actually deploying the contract, which is, by the way, a very interesting thing, because it does have a virtual machine embedded, and it will act as if you're running the code on the blockchain. Right, let's see the testing results. Again, I'm not talking very deep technical on how you write tests and what is the syntax that's in here. For example, I'm just trying to give you the general idea of the first smart contract structure, and then you can move on and play with these code files as you prefer. Alright, the test is running now, and let's see the result. Here we go, our test passed. If you're curious, you can go here and change a few things here and try to run the tests as well. And if you're wondering, how do I know that I should write yarn test or just yarn or something like that, it's also written in the packages.js file. So here you have all the scripts that will help you build, run, and deploy your smart contract. You can see here the test, yarn test will actually run this, which is the command line that is required to run the test. All right, that's for testing locally. What about deploying the contract on the blockchain? First thing is we need to build the contract first. So again, I will go here and see what is the script for that. It should be this build or building release. If you are deploying to the like a real application, after you finish coding and testing, you can definitely use the release one. So I can use yarn build :release. And what this will do is that it will build you a simple script project, and it will generate a .wasm file for you. This wasm file is ready for you to deploy. And by the way, all the commands I'm writing here, you can find them in the README file with the repo, as you can see here, and also in the description of this video. All right, so now it's building, like the build, the wasm file after the build completes. Here we go. So we have build, we have hello world.wasm. So this is the wasm file that you can deploy to the blockchain and test it. How can we deploy that? There are a few ways to do so. The easiest way, since you are just starting and testing, is that you deploy it in with a dev contract, like dev deploy command. What this will do is it will create an account, deploy the code into this account, and just give it to you to testing. So to deploy the contract on a testing development account, you need to run near dev deploy and pass the wasm file to be deployed. So I will open the build directory and release and hello world.wasm. So near, again, should have near CLI installed. Dev deployed the command for deploying, and let's deploy this file. So this command will deploy the wasm file on the blockchain and will give you a contract ID or contract name like that. You can use this contract to call and use your code. So what I will say is that I will call near view, which is another method available for you from the new CLI. So near view this contract, and our method name is hello world, like that, hello world. Okay, seems we have an error. Let's see what it says. Querying wasm execution file with the error function call. Okay, I guess that's because we messed up with the function name. It should be capital W here, hello world. Let's try again. Here we go. So the function works, the code works, and this is the initial cycle. So I guess that's it for this video. We can continue later with other tutorials on building your smart contracts. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.